everyone, it's Miss Amy. It's Thursday. It is book talk time. Today I am going to book talk for Maine Student Book Award nominees for 2021, 2020/2021 year. So these are all books that I've read. These are all books geared for 4th through 8th grade, but certainly could be read aloud to younger kids. Some of them are deal with interesting topics that definitely warrant some discussion, but they are all really, really cool books, and I'm so glad that they were on the list this year. So the first one, so I'm going back to my reading log and my reading journal. My favorite thing, I have book talked a lot. These are all sticky notes from books that I've book talked. Okay, so this one, The Line Tender by Kate Allen, might be the saddest book that I've ever read. It also maybe was the timing of when I read it. But this is a story that was not at all what I expected. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. It was an incredible story about a girl and her best friend, and a tragedy that happens when sometime near when a great white shark is found off the coast of New England, Cape Cod, I think. And this year, here in Maine, we had a woman who was attacked by a great white shark off the coast of New England. It's a powerful story, but an incredible story about how one thing happening changed many, many, many lives in a lot of different ways and set forward in motion a passion that the girl in this story did not know. This is a story of pain and loss and hope and forgiveness, and it was a beautiful story. So I listened to this audio, and the readers were incredible. I actually was reading it, listening to it in the car, and had to pull over on the side of the road so that I could cry out until I could get myself together and move on. So, but highly recommend it if you like realistic fiction and just a beautiful story. This is it. Okay, so the next one that I want to share is Good Enough. This was not at all what I don't always, I just choose the book, and so I don't always read what the book is about or anything. I just start the book. So this was a super heavy, real and raw story about a young girl who finds herself in a treatment facility for kids with eating disorders, and she has anorexia, and she runs to lose weight, but doesn't think she's too thin, and she thinks she eats enough, but she doesn't. And it's about her accepting that she is good enough. And other characters in the story that come in and tell their stories of their eating disorders and their issues and things. It just was a super, super powerful story, and just a much darker story because it is a dark thing, eating disorders. And, if you find yourself thinking about things like this or whatever, or you know somebody who you think might have an eating disorder, talk to them. Maybe they just need a friend to listen or help them or point them in the right direction. And know that if you are dealing with an eating disorder, that you are not alone and that there is a way out. So that is this story, and you are good enough. This story, so Good Enough was by Jen Petro-Roy. This one is Nikki on the Line, by Barbara Carol Roberts. So this is a sports story, which I will tell you, I don't normally like sports stories, but this was an incredible story about a girl who is trying out for a travel basketball team. She has to make compromises because she's with a single mom. It is a friendship story about new friendships and old friendships and how they change and morph and everything when different people come in and change the dynamics of a friendship. And it's just a story about being resilient and working hard and making sacrifices for what you truly believe in and want. And that is this story, Nikki on the Line, and it is a basketball story. And again, I don't normally like sports stories. I love hockey, but not stories about hockey. But anyways, I loved this. So I hope you check it out. And the last one, I literally just finished this morning. This is another one that is on the list. This is Stuart Gibbs, Charlie Thorne, and The Last Equation. This was an incredible story about a girl genius who gets kind of blackmailed into helping the FBI find and look for Einstein's lost equation, Albert Einstein's lost equation, which was known as Pandora. And for 70 years, groups, terrorist groups and FBI and KGB and all these political organizations and everything have looked for Pandora and this equation, which is supposed to save the world's or help the world energy crisis, but it will also make whatever person or group or entity that has possession of it the most powerful. And I loved there was a reference in here to the stirrup that Charlie, who is a girl genius, almost as smart as Albert Einstein, and she's 12, she makes reference to the stirrup and how the stirrup was how it changed the world, because those horses that had stirrups and the people who had the stirrups were more powerful than the people who didn't, who slipped off the horses all the time. It was a really cool reference, but you have to see in the story what it's all about. We have it on audio, we have the book, we have all of these on audio here in the library. You can get them. If we don't have them, you can borrow them from another library. Hugs to you all, happy reading. Check out the Maine Student Book Award list. Every state has a award list. Check them out. A lot of the same kind of books get put on everybody's award lists. Plus you find out about new other books that you might not have known about too. And it's a really good way to read outside your comfort box. Hugs, Miss Amy. Happy reading, happy holidays.